What is up, everybody? Sean the D-Man here. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you guys are doing great. Hope you guys are having yourselves a great week. We are back with another episode of the Auburn Podcast for the 2024-2025 year. I hope you guys are doing great. Auburn beat Mississippi State 88-66 last night in Neville in a game where a lot of questions about this team we're going to find out, because Johni Broome obviously was ruled out for the game after he sustained a little ankle injury. Nothing serious. He's just going to be out for a couple of weeks, or I guess really depending on what the timetable looks like. And a lot of questions were like, what is this team going to look like? And Mississippi State's not a bad basketball team. Now, they should have beaten, I believe Kentucky, I think it's who they beat. They played last week. They should have beaten Kentucky, but this was a good Mississippi State basketball team without any question. And Auburn seemed to pretty much take care of business, winning by 20 plus 22 points. So it's crazy because I mentioned in previous videos about Mississippi State coming up, because this was like a stretch, because Mississippi State is considered a quad one win for Auburn, and they handled business. They got the win, but Mississippi State have been playing really well. They played to get some pretty good teams, and we weren't sure how things were going to look with Auburn, with Johni Broome being out, but they handled business. So let's, as per usual, wrong thing. There we go. All right, so Auburn. So, and you kind of got what you needed with the guys that you wanted to step up. So Chaney Johnson, 7 of 10, 17 points. Dylan Cardwell, he 4 of 6, 9 points. Chad Baker, 20 points. Denver Jones, Miles Kelly, both with 13 points each. And then Tahad Pettifer, 12. Jakai Howard and Chris Moore gave you 2. And then the rest was just, bench players and things like that. So your starters definitely they came through in this game. They definitely came through. I mean, it's hard to describe how this game looked and how this team looked last night. They were just really, really good. And Mississippi State made it interesting a few times. I think they did get close. They did get it down to single digits quite a few times, but just Auburn always seemed to just be in control of the game and able to just push it further and get a bigger lead. Let's see. Team stats. How did we do tonight? So field goal percentage, Auburn was 55% from the field. 10 of 24 with their 3-point shot, about what they normally make and attempt each game. It looks like 41%. They were 12 of 15%, or 12 of 15 from the free throw line, 80%. Mississippi State did out rebound them, but I'm not too concerned about that. 20 offensive, 23 defensive. I mean, it mainly depends on who was in. I think maybe Jaheim Hudson may have been in for Cardwell at times at that like center position or so. So not really too upset about that, but they handled business. 9 assists, 11 steals, 10 blocks. They turned the ball over 16 times on Mississippi State, got 20 plus points out of it. Just 15 fouls. So largest lead was 26. Man, that is something. And yeah, so Johni Broome out. Now they travel to, which is going to be a very dangerous game on Saturday on the road in Athens against Georgia. Georgia who did they just beat? They beat Kentucky the other week, which very, very handily and soundly for sure. But as of right now, matchup predictor has Auburn giving Auburn like a 76% chance of winning. Um, Georgia's good. Georgia's last 5 games, they beat Oklahoma, beat Kentucky. They did lose to Ole Miss, and then just some cupcakes that you should that you should expect them to beat. So if we go and look at, I think who's still playing. You got Missouri and Florida still playing. Arkansas, LSU. Who plays tomorrow? Okay. So standing wise, Auburn does have to play Ole Miss twice this season. But that's really not until about in February, I believe, is when they play, because they have Georgia this Saturday. They don't have a midweek game, so no game on Tuesday or Wednesday, and then they have Tennessee that following Saturday, and then I believe it may be Ole Miss or LSU. It's one of because you go on the road, so you could potentially, if you could beat Georgia, and then maybe Ole Miss slips up, you can probably put yourself one game ahead of everybody in the conference. So that's going to be interesting to see on how that shapes out in regards to that. But overall, really good performance by the guys. And I mean, there's not much to really say. Everybody was like, like I said, everybody was relatively worried. Didn't really and I said this before, and you probably heard other Auburn people say it before too. Like I'm like not expecting Auburn to like just fly through the SEC conference this season. But I mean, let's be honest, like the way Bruce Pearl scheduled this offseason or these out of conference games, it has really done nothing but really help them and pretty much help them get prepared for the SEC. Again, playing teams like Iowa State, Houston, Duke, Memphis, Purdue, Ohio State, teams that are Vermont, teams that are more than likely that are going to be in the NCAA tournament come March. Auburn played most of those teams, and they've beaten most of those teams on neutral floors, except with the exception of Duke. This team's good. Like if they can get this kind of production or sustain it and then insert Johni Broome back in, like this team's going to be hard to beat. Like they're really good defensively, they're really good offensively. There's not much of weakness, I guess you could say. There's probably there are moments where offensively they get bored if they know like the other team pretty much doesn't really have a chance to like compete with them offensively and keep up in points. I think we saw that with like the Missouri game, and there's been a few other games as well where that's kind of happened. But I mean, overall, this team has done they've done everything you asked of them. Like they're really good. They're really good, and it is definitely going to pay off come March. Like when you get into the NCAA tournament, and with these out of conference games combined with some of these quad, because like I think I saw something earlier in the day, where like Oregon and Auburn were the only two teams in the country, both with 7 quad 1 wins. Well, now Auburn has 8. I'm not sure about Oregon, so. They definitely did their part. They're definitely doing their part, and this team's going to be interesting to watch and see how things go. It's going to be interesting to see how Johni Broome looks heading into Athens against Georgia. I would say you could probably just sit and rest him, and just maybe get him back for Tennessee, because I think that was going to be a very crucial game right there in itself. It usually is. So I wouldn't be surprised if like just on a precautionary thing, Bruce Pearl's just kind of like, let's just make sure let's just wait another week, get you through this week, get you through next week, and see and reevaluate on maybe like Thursday or Friday before we play Tennessee about how well you're gonna do. Because I mean, it's you definitely don't want to rush it, but you kind of feel a little bit good that you can win games without Johni Broome. But in order to win the SEC, in order to win a championship during March, you're going to need Johni Broome because he's just the best player in the country. I understand Cooper Flag, dropped 42 points on a sub 500 basketball team last week, but Johni Broome is clearly the best player in the country. Like there's no debating that whatsoever. So we're gonna see how good Auburn is, and I don't even think they've reached they've peaked yet. You always have those kind of people like, oh no, they peaked too early and things like that. I don't think they've peaked yet. I think there's still things that this team can work on to get better. And so I mean it's gonna be fun to watch these guys the next couple of weeks. And just see how things go once we get Johni Broome back. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys. To do a quick little wrap up of the game against Mississippi State. Auburn wins 88-66. Hope you guys enjoyed the game as much as I did. And be sure you hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back with you guys on Saturday. I think the game is, tip-offs like 2 o'clock. I think it's the tip-off, so I'll be back with a video for you guys later that night for sure. But be sure you hit that like and subscribe button, comment below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Y'all have a good one.